G'day. I wanted to share a little concept with you. If right now you're a manager, a leader, maybe you're a pre-exec leader, and you're not quite sure what your next career move should be, you feel a little bit stuck and you're thinking, where should I go next? Should I go down more of the technical path? Should I go into the executive and leadership path? But right now, I'm not sure what I can do to build my career further in a way that I think is authentic to you, that feels right, and in a way that's going to 10 times your confidence and reclaim some of your time each week. Because if I said to you right now, could you handle double the amount of staff you've got? If you've got 10 staff right now, and I said, if I doubled that and made it 20 staff, could you actually handle that? And so, what we want to do is think about how do we build our career in a way that's satisfying and gratifying, but is not going to burn us out. And as part of thinking about that, I've got this cool little model or training that I want to share with you. And it's called the Leader's Time Machine. So allow me to share my screen. And I just want to share this concept with you right now. And so when you think about your future, we can often be thinking, where do I want to go? What do I think is my next move? Where have I been so far? What are my strengths? What am I good at? Those sorts of things. And so let's say you're wanting to shift from this concept of a manager, where at the moment you're a manager, and you want to shift to becoming a leader. Okay. So let's say that's where you're at right now. And you can see you want to make that happen, but you're not quite sure what the steps are. And so let's say you're here now, and this is the future. And maybe that future is 1, 2, or maybe 3 years away. Because quite often we're thinking about our career future in those kind of terms. Where do I want to be 6 months, 12 months from now? Where do I want to be a year from now? So in making this shift, let's think about what are some of the possible kind of scenarios that could happen when you're planning out and thinking about your future. And there are several options, right, for what could happen. Let's plan them out. As I know from working with dozens of clients, there tends to be kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 possible moves or outcomes that could happen, depending on where you're at, depending on the choices that you make. And so when you think about it, some of those options could be that this one is your, let's say it's your ideal. This is really your ideal career, where you want to go, becoming the leader you've always hoped for, having the reputation that you've always wanted, feeling really confident and settled, building a high performance team. So really think about, what does it look like if I'm building that kind of career? The next one might be just okay. It would be good. I would be a little bit ahead of where I'm at now, but maybe it wouldn't be the greatest career I've ever had. Okay. And then maybe you want to think about, what if it doesn't go the way I had hoped and it ends up being quite a poor option? Or maybe lastly, it's a complete disaster. And I get in this mode where I'm like, I just want to leave. I can't even imagine that kind of career. It would make me want to change altogether. I would probably maybe be burnt out and have an overwhelm kind of breakdown. And so when we look at it and we think about it, which one of those 4 options, 1, 2, 3, or 4, would you want to be moving forward towards in your career? Because really, you could move forward to this ideal. Yeah. You could be thinking about, well, that this might be okay, because possibly you're already thinking in your head, That ideal is going to take a lot of work. So maybe I'd be okay with the okay one, but I'm really not keen on a poor career option. And I definitely don't want to have a disaster. So let's think about those 4 options. And if you were thinking about, well, at this ideal one here, level 1, what would my income look like? What would my sense of accomplishment and freedom look like? What would my calendar look like? So how much freedom and fun would I have? How much flexibility in what I do? How much personal satisfaction would that ideal role take me to, give me? How much of it would align with who I am and make me feel at the end of the day that I am fully aligned, heart, mind, and soul? And then at this level, what would your income look like? How much free time and freedom would you have? And what level of satisfaction do you think you'd be getting at that level? Maybe jot yourself a note of what that might look like for you, or be thinking about it in your mind. If, however, some of my choices, or I didn't make any choices and I kept going the way I was going and I ended up at this poor choice 3, what would my income look like then? How much freedom would I have? And what would my level of satisfaction and confidence be at level 3? And if option 4 ended up being the pathway that I took, again, what would my income be like? What would my freedom be like? What would my levels of satisfaction be like? So just reviewing those, think to yourself for a moment, what line are you on right now? Are you on 1, 2, 3, or 4? Have a think for me, and maybe write down what line you think you're on right now. Where do you feel like you're at? And what we want to do is ideally start thinking about, how do I get onto that path? Yeah. So what line are you on right now? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be on just level 2? Are you happy to be satisfied with just okay? Or are you going to go all out and are you focused on that line 1, the ideal? And so what do you need to do right now to shift and get onto the right line, the right path for your career that you feel is going to help take you there? And what I know for sure is, if you're here right now, if you look carefully, the distance between these lines to shift is at the shortest they are going to be. Because right now, they're all quite close together. But depending on where you're at, let's say you're on line 3, there's not that much to get to line 1 here. But wait a year and you can see the distance expands. Wait 2 years and you're going to have a hell of a lot of drive to get you back up there. It's going to take a lot of effort and work. But imagine if you waited the 3 years. The distance that starts to form from where you're at to where you want to be, your ideal career, starts to become completely untenable. You start to realize that it's going to take so much effort to shift. So the sweet spot to make a decision, to shift your career, to do something about pulling back, reclaiming your time, reclaiming your own energy, feeling like you're confident and competent and can take this next leadership step, the best time to do that is absolutely right here, right now. So in thinking about all of that and where you're at, thinking about where are you right now, what's the gap, and how's that looking for you? If you want to grow easily in your career, grow a great team, you want to speak up in meetings and really have no self-doubt, you want to be noticed for all the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, and you're beginning to think, I want to build my ecosystem and up-level my career without sacrificing my life, then maybe I can help you. There are 2 key things that I do to help people just like you, people who are middle managers, pre-execs, people who are looking to grow their career but maybe not seeing it ideally modeled above them. So there's 2 ways I can help. I help leaders who are on the wrong track who want to shift and get onto the right track. And I also help leaders who are already on the right track, but maybe they want to go faster and go further without burning out. If that sounds like you, come and say hi. Best places are on LinkedIn or visit my website, alexandradory.com.au. I'd love to see how I can support you. The future is literally in your hands. Thanks for tuning in.